Okay, why not tell him to put his hands up? Why not just put your hands up? Just put your hands up. Right? If you can see a person's hands, is that a threat?
Right.
A lot of questions that could be asked here.
It's Tuesday, April 16th. What's up, y'all? This is BJ Murphy, and you're listening to the 20-Minute Morning Show. By now, you may have seen the video of Danquirs Franklin when he was shot by CMPD police officer Wendy Kerl. Now, the video is very graphic. They didn't show but like a minute and maybe 30 seconds of it, and they cut the tape off. I got a chance to talk to Keith Way, former CMPD officer. He's retired now, so he can speak his mind and say what he wants to say, but probably if he was still on the force, he would still be speaking up because he's always been very transparent on what he sees of the police department and what they need to improve on. But he had some insight last night on what the video shows in the shooting of Danquirs Franklin.
What's the one thing we keep hearing about? De-escalation. Where was the de-escalation in this whole event?
There never was.
There was never any de-escalation.
Let me see your hands now! Now! I'm crossing. Get out of the way! Sir, put the gun down!
Put it down! Put it down now!
Put the gun down! He's got a gun! He's got a gun! Drop the gun! Drop the weapon!
Ma'am, get out of the way!
Ma'am, get out of the way!
Drop the gun!
Drop the gun!
Drop it!
Drop it now! Drop the weapon!
Drop it! I said
drop it!
Drop it!
Drop the weapon now!
Put it on the ground!
Put it on the ground!
Put the gun on the ground! Put it
on the ground! Get down!
Put it on! Put it on the ground! Drop it!
Shots fired! Shots fired! I shot a fire.
Wendy, we got one shot up here. I'm gonna need medic now. Wendy.
What?
Let me see your hands.
Let me see your hands.
Oh yeah, I'm the dash. I'm the GM. I'm the GM. I just pulled on the dash. Yes, sir.
I gotta pick up the gun.
What?
Number one, people saying, well, they said put the gun down 17 times. Before he touched it, nobody ever saw the gun.
Right.
You heard say he got a gun. Right. Nobody ever saw the gun.
Correct.
Okay, so now you got a person in the car. You got two people that walk up doing the incident while they're standing
the female,
there.
The lady.
Where's the perceived threat? Right? If people are coming, nobody seemed to think that it was a threat, and it was only threatened from one eye. The other thing is, I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, why not tell him to put his hands up? Why not just put your hands up? Just put your hands up. Right? If you can see a person's hands, is that a threat?
Right.
A lot of questions that could be asked here.
And then the way he pulled the gun out, I think he was fumbling in there to make sure he pulled the gun out the right way because he pulled out the nose of the gun, right?
The nose of the gun.
And dropped it.
And then if you listen to it closely, you'll hear him say, you told me. And the one thing I told everybody before the video came out, I said they're going to cut it off as soon as the shooting comes because there's a thing called excited utterances. That's an actual legal term.
Okay.
And it's what people say at the end of these scenarios that normally determines whether they're going to get in trouble or not.
Thank you. Now,
so we can't hear
Exactly.
I don't know if you heard on my other podcast, but one of the ladies out there said, well, the male officer said to the female officer, what you do that for?
One officer asked the other officer, what did you do that for?
Oh my God, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
What you do that for?
But there again, I think it's something because I was looking at the city council and the mayor's reactions.
Mm-hmm. What we do as leaders in this city makes all the difference in the world. Every one of us stands here together. And yes, it is emotional. He was someone's son. He's a dad. Isn't that the right time to be emotional? Isn't that the right time to show the caring? That police officer had to go through this. Isn't it the right time to understand the depth of emotions for everyone? So yes, I am emotional. And it's for the right reason.
The mayor was way too emotional. And you heard her say that somebody's father, child, whatever, lost their life. And we got 2 families that are impacted here. But to me, it seems like it's not about what's right or wrong. The whole issue goes, it's a bigger issue. It's a bigger issue. The bigger issue is that there's no trust. And there's no trust because me being a former police officer, I grew up in Charlotte. I can drive through a neighborhood and see when Miss Lucy not sitting on her porch, I knew something wasn't wrong. Officers nowadays are disconnected from the community. I don't care what they say about community engagement. Community engagement is only for that event. And during that event, there's no community engagement. Just 2-3 weeks ago, I had to write the captain of my district, the 2 lieutenants, and a sergeant, and told them that when I'm home, I never see a police officer drive through my neighborhood. Where are they? Right. When I was a police officer, we always drove through the neighborhood because that's how you get connected to the neighborhood. You learn them, they learn you, but nobody ever responded back. But guess what? I've seen a couple patrols here and there, but nobody's coming through connecting to the neighborhood.
So you think people should be afraid of a riot situation like it was in 2016?
No, I don't think a riot is going to be an issue. I really don't. And I don't think that the district attorney is going to charge.
Wow.
I think there'll be some civil action, but I don't think there's going to be a charge.
Right. So what is this, man? Is this blatant racism? We on Beatties Ford Road. I got a gun, but I'm licensed to carry. And I think he was just down there just contemplating, what should I do? I don't want to make any sudden movements to lose my life.
I was one of Danquirs' mentors in his life.
Oh, wow.
So for me, the guy in the car, me knowing him, once again, I'm a police officer. I know all these people, the witnesses, everybody. I know that he was in that car talking to him, calming him down.
Okay, gotcha.
You see what I mean? That's why he was kneel down. You never saw him acting erratic or anything. And no matter what they said, put the gun down, he was still focused on the man he was talking to because that was the calming effect. But when you got 2 opposites, whatever the stronger force is going to always win. Right. And the opposite force was the show of force. The thing is that I carry a gun. I always carry a gun. You crazy not to carry one now. Yeah, I got a gun on me.
Man, let me get the hell away from you now.
No, I always carry a gun. But the deal is that I look at, was it a black or white issue? I don't even think it's a training issue. There's issues going on in society now that have gone beyond black and white, gone beyond the training issues. Like I said, when you have people that are brought into a neighborhood and they know nothing about that neighborhood, there's always going to be an issue.
Right. I mean, what is the time limit? They gave 17 commands, you say, right? I mean, is there a limit? Oh, I told you 17 times, and now we're getting ready to fire off on you.
There is no limit. The whole point of training is to de-escalate, so there is no use of force. I mean, where was the de-escalation?
None. There was none.
Like I said, for me, it's always quarterbacking 20/20 hindsight afterwards. But being in those situations for 30 years, I'm looking at what can you do in those situations to where you could de-escalate it. Like the one thing I would say is instead of put the gun down, let me see your hands. So that's what we were taught. Let me see your hands, because once you see the hands, you can control the situation.
So have you ever been in a situation like that where somebody may have had a weapon and you didn't fire your weapon? And you de-escalate?
I've been in a bunch of them.
Right.
I came through the crack era.
Oh, wow.
You know, where it was a lot of shootings, a lot of homicides, 130, 140 homicides. People were robbing banks around here. People were robbing people. I've been in a lot of scenarios where it was kill or be killed. Yeah. But I never fired my gun. But by the same token, I also realized that I probably possessed something that somebody else didn't have. And that is, I'm had an innate ability to look at a situation to say, you know, in this scenario, I may have to say, don't do it, bruh. I promise you it's not going to be good for you or your family. But then the next person, I may have to say, man, just put your hands up and comply. But then the next one, I might have to tell you, hey, man, I promise you one of these funeral homes is going to be busy tonight if you do it.
Wow.
You know, you just never know.
Yeah.
But then I've been in situations where it went from 0 to 100 in less than 3 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and you just never know. But there again, it goes back to when you're connected to the community, they know you, you know them, people start to think more.
Hey, thank y'all for listening to the 20-Minute Morning Show, a product of Inside Urban Media and written and produced by BJ Murphy from our studios in Charlotte, North Carolina. You can like us on Facebook or Instagram at 20-Minute Morning Show. Please subscribe to the show and you'll get it in your inbox as soon as we publish it at 6 a.m. weekday mornings. We also want you to use the share button and repost on your social media and listen to the 20-Minute Morning Show on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and anywhere where podcasts are distributed. Thanks to our daily contributors on the show, Sean, Sunday, and AK with the UIN Uncut News team. Also, Hadia, Kendra, and all the other behind-the-scenes people that work to make the 20-Minute Morning Show what it is. Thank y'all so much for listening, and we'll check you out tomorrow morning for another episode.